Yes, F1 2016 has now been officially confirmed, and they say that F1 2016 will be launched this summer, which I suppose gives them a bit of leeway whether they actually do it on the natural release date, which I don't think has been given quite yet. But this summer, F1 2016 will launch, and let's be honest, we are happy about it. I'm going to put some pictures on your screen, a few throughout this video, and I've got to say, this reads a lot better than the previous few games, to be perfectly honest. As I said the last video you saw yesterday, there will be a 10-season career mode, which is pretty insane. I mean, do I think I'll complete 10 seasons? Well, to be perfectly honest, I don't think I will. But 10 seasons for the person that really wants to get into the career mode, that is great. I mean, it means that there isn't an sort of never-ending career mode for you if you do like to play a lot of it. And there will be the safety car, which we did say yesterday as well, but something we didn't mention yesterday, there'll be a virtual safety car as well, which is great. Something that has been a part of Formula 1 for a few years now, and to be honest, if it wasn't in the game, I didn't really think about it, but now, now they've said it, it should really be in the game, considering it has been in F1 for a few years now. And to see it there in black and white, they have put it in the game. That is great. Also, the introduction of the Azerbaijan, which will be talked about as well. But then it gets interesting. Then they start talking about the career mode, which has been put into the game, and it does sound really exciting. Obviously, there's a bit of a blah 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 about how it's thrilling and it's obviously amazing and all this sort of stuff, which you'd assume they would put to try and hype up the game. Obviously, we're hyped up just seeing these pictures, but it does say a rich car upgrade system is fully integrated into a new and deep practice development program, which mirrors the test carried out in real life, which means, by the sound of it, we're going to be doing pre-season testing, testing after like the Spanish Grand Prix and a few other races. I think they do tests in the middle of the week after the Grand Prix, and obviously testing at the end of the season. That's pretty cool, not going to lie. I mean, hopefully there is an option to skip it, because I can see that getting a bit tiresome if you're trying to do 10 seasons and doing all these practice sessions as well. I'm assuming you will be able to skip it, but to have that at least in the game is great. Nice that they're listening to people, and obviously I'm sure the input that the F1 guys did when they went over and tested the game, that really helped out. I mean, they, thanks to Codemasters, they would have helped shape the game through inviting a few of those YouTubers, and the people that went, they know their stuff, so it should, the fingers crossed, be an epic game. And talking about this development practice program thing, you'll be able to obviously you take advantage of this, all of these testings. The cars will improve. Like they have said in the past that the cars will develop, and let's be honest, they didn't really do that. I mean, I think in 2011 or 2012 they mentioned something about how the cars get better over the season, but that never really actually took place. But by the sound of this, this actually works. Obviously, if you master each circuit through some sort of test, with the tyres and all sorts of stuff, and the race strategy and all of that, you'll gain development points, and then you can spend that on upgrading your car. So basically, if you do all the testing, you can get better and better car. But if you don't do the testing, you skip it, you might not have as good a car as your teammate, for example. So that is interesting. It's an interesting dynamic that if you decide to skip all the tests, which maybe I might decide to do if I, haven't got the time or whatever. I'm sure lots of people don't have time to do 100% races, all the qualifying, all the practice. But for the people that do have the time, doing the research to, I suppose, learn about the car and also to learn the tracks and everything, that's going to help you out in that aspect, and also help you out in getting those development points, which you'll get on upgrading cars, like aerodynamics, engine, how the car suits with the tyres and all that sort of stuff. That stuff is going to be epic by the sounds of it. And also they talk about the safety car being introduced and the virtual safety car in there as well. I'm interested to know how that works, because it doesn't seem to completely work in real life. So if they can't get it to work in real life, how they're going to get it to work in the game, I don't know. We'll see, I'm sure, how that's all going to work out. But nonetheless, I'm really excited to see how the career mode goes on, and they got even more stuff. They don't just finish there. They start talking about how you'll be able to select an avatar. So I'm sure it's going to be a few select avatars. You're not going to be able to create your avatar like you can in FIFA, for example, but who knows, that's something definitely for the future. Maybe be able to sort of customize an avatar, maybe use like the game face thing in FIFA, where you could take a picture of yourself, for example, and put that into the game. It makes like a game version of you. That would be really cool. So you can select your avatar as well as your number. Obviously, well, I'm sure a lot of people don't, but I'm sure a lot of people do have a favourite number. Mine's 23, by the way, hashtag 23. So that'll be selected for the career mode, which is cool as well. Just to add that a little bit more of reality. I mean, all of this stuff coming into the game this year makes you think how much they took out of 2015 in that aspect. They took out this career mode, but I suppose if they had all this in the pipeline trying to get this perfect, I don't really care too much, but it is what it is. Obviously, we'd have all loved F1 2015 to have career mode, but obviously select your avatar number, and also you'll be able to get a helmet for yourself. It doesn't really mean, it does say you can choose a colour, but then does it really, I don't know, is there a helmet customization? It's a little bit unclear. I mean, I'm guessing not, but I'm guessing you can choose a colour and then maybe choose a few sponsors to go on or something, or maybe a design selected around colour. Maybe it's a bit of a helmet editor, I don't know, it's kind of hard to tell from the way they've worded it. But then after you've done all that, you are free to choose from any of the teams. So that's interesting, because for me, I always thought that you should have to start at one of the back teams on the grid. That's what, for me at least, made F1 2010 so good. The fact that you could start with the HRT, Caterham or the Virgin, and then you could build your way up. Obviously, if you have a good first season, you get an offer from like a Force India or a Sauber or Williams. Then each year you build up, and then like the third or fourth season you finally get your dream drive at like a Mercedes, McLaren or Ferrari, for example. So obviously I'm talking about McLaren back in 2010 when they were alright. So yeah, I always thought that was the case, you know, to make it more interesting, but that's not what it is. Basically, you can choose from any team. I'm going to do a video about this at another point, so don't worry. But if you do have a particular team you are interested about me, you know, using this season, let me know in the comment section down below. I'm sure Haas will be a frequently used one, and maybe we'll see. But I'm sure a lot of people will use Haas, so maybe we'll try and do something a little bit different. But I'm not too sure. So they go on about that, obviously talking about how you can start with a great car, or you can start with one and then develop it. And then they talk about the on-track experience. So it really does sound cool. This is the bit that we all loved about F1 2010-11, sort of we walk into the motorhome and all that. And now they say that you can use the hospitality areas for sort of a game hub. So you can, how they phrase it, it says, in this area you will work with our new fully captured and voice acted research and development engineer and player agent to develop your progress both on and off the track, earn research and development credits from all your sessions, practice, qualifying and the race, to spend upgrading your car and get ahead of the teams around you, to make it even more immersive. To make it even more immersive, you'll be able to spot other key figures in the paddock within the hospitality areas. That is cool. Now you'll be able to see a guest like Christian Horner and all that, and maybe some of the drivers walking around, you know, maybe some of the PR people you see at the end of the press conferences and all that sort of stuff. You might be able to spot them around the paddock. That is actually really cool. Getting some of the, you could say in quotations, ordinary people in Formula 1 sort of face scanning this game is actually quite cool. So that all sounds great. The Formula 1 2016 career mode does sound pretty awesome, not going to lie. Just from what they've said there, I'm buzzing for it already. Let me know in the comment section down below, guys, what your opinions are. Is this game going to be great, good, okay, or a bit of a failure? Leave your comments down below. It's been Actomatic. Goodbye.